as promised at the end of the last video, we have primer. Lovely Krylon gray primer from Rattlecan. Masked the canopy and put it in place to cover the cockpit. After hitting the whole thing with the Krylon gray, I went in and primered hit the guns and engines with the Vallejo dark gray surface primer, just to give it a better, well, better's not the right term. I want a dark base color for the main body coat when I get it done. Once I let the gray primer cure for a bit, I'm going to go in like I did with the Raider build and do some of the areas on the Raider part in black to give a little contrast. It is showing some rough spots, but based off the storyline for the build, those rough spots actually help the concept, because originally this version of the ship was built from wreckage. Namely, it was built from salvage from both Colonial and Cylon equipment. So it looks a little rough, but that's alright. I may do a little blocking on the Viper parts, probably not. We'll see. Right now, that's where we're sitting. Okay, we're getting there. At this point, I've got the black details on the wings like I did with the Raider build, both top and bottom, for the eventual top coat of lacquer. The engines I haven't done anything with, but they're almost ready. So, at this point, next time you see this, it's going to have the base color on it. And then we'll go from there. Alright, next step of the build is complete. We have our base color on. A base color that should surprise absolutely nobody. That is a fine coat of Tester's graphite dust, shot straight from the Rattlecan this time. Got both top and bottom done. One of the things I like about using the lacquers is the black areas that I had painted before still show up on the wings. I've also gotten the engines, same treatment, Tester's graphite dust over the dark primer. At this point, we're ready for some detail painting. And once I get the detail painting done, we move decals and weathering. This one's moving right along. Okay, we're 3 weeks into the contest, and what should come as a surprise to nobody who's followed me before, I got build number 1 done. The Shadowdemon, the Viper Raider hybrid, slide it back here so it'll fit mostly in the view, is completed. I put some markings from the kit decal sheet into place, as well as a couple of custom markings, namely the pilot nameplate and the squadron emblem for Ivy's squadron. What I've done, I gave the whole model an overall coat of satin finish, and then went in and did some light weathering with Vallejo Smoke dry brush. Biggest reason for the light weathering is this ship, though cobbled together, doesn't see a lot of use, and it was essentially built as a one-off. Just slight weathering on the bottom, mostly toward the rear here on the engines. Engines were also given a black wash. I have removed the masking on the canopy. As you can see, the cockpit detail shows up fairly well, as does the nameplate for the pilot. Roll this around here so you can see into the cockpit a little better. Looking in there now, I'm really glad I went with the photo etch cockpit. I am very happy with how this turned out. This is one of those builds that just kind of fell together. It did everything I wanted it to without throwing me too many curves. As usual, on the finale, I will put some stills at the tail end of this. This ship itself is going in both the sci-fi category mainly, and the theme of prototype, because this was put together basically as the story behind the ship is Lieutenant Ivy Rhodes of the Battlestar Solaria found herself confronted with a past she didn't want. Namely, she found out she was a Cylon, specifically the number 8 or Sharon variant. She found this out when she downloaded after being shot down in a fight with the Cylons. Well, her brothers and sisters humored her desire to continue to be a pilot. Humanoid Cylons don't do stuff like that. Ivy disagreed. So using salvage pieces that were aboard the base star, she put together her demon. The net result is a deadly fusion of Cylon and colonial technology, and one of the deadliest looking ships set in that universe. Thank you for watching.